Good morning, everyone. My name is Patrick Apo-Shedlovsky.
My name is Shalisa Sikam. Today we are going to present our science project.
There is a time when I look up at the sky and I can see this one bright object shining above my head, which is the moon.
And as we all know that moonlight is from the reflecting of sunlight, and sunlight is white light. But why? Why we see moon in different colors? Then we look at the spectrum and we see that light has wavelengths. Okay, so light has wavelength, and in different wavelengths there are different colors, and we see that moonlight has like yellow to red tone, which means it has like long wavelengths.
During March and April every year, Chiang Mai goes through a problem about the dust particle. So we came up with our hypothesis that the dust particle in the atmosphere affects the moonlight by extending the light wavelength.
So we came up with our project called
The study of relationship between color and brightness of the moon with the amount of dust particle in the atmosphere. And our processes are, we have set up a Dobsonian telescope connected to a DSLR camera.
And then we have taken a photo of the moon since it is in the middle of the sky until it sets.
Then we have taken our PM 2.5 and PM 10 data from the Climate Change Data Center of Chiang Mai University's website. Then we have taken our image onto Adobe Photoshop to find the luminosity or the brightness of the moon. Right after we have found out the luminosity, we have taken our image onto an application called the Color Analyzer. We use it to analyze the colors of the moon by using CMYK to find the brightest spot of the moon, which is not the crater because the crater is a hole and it has shadow on it.
Next, we are going to talk about result. We see that we have found out that the altitude is the main reason that affect the moon color change. When the moon is at lower altitude, the moon is likely to be more red and less bright. But then we look at the dust particle in the atmosphere. We also see that it also affects the moon colors. And then we have taken another days. This does not go along with our hypothesis, so we think that there are so many factors that affect the moon colors, like wind speed, moistures, and temperature.
So from what she said, we have cut out other factors, but on the day we have taken the photographs, we have used similar. On the day we have taken the photographs, there was similar weather and similar lunar phase. Then we have made a graph, and as you can see, the color red, or the 15th of March, has the greatest amount of dust particle, which inverse varies with the luminosity, meaning it has the least luminosity out of all 3 days. Since because it has the greatest amount of dust particle, it has the most amount of colors.
We use the same like altitude to analyze in these 3 days. And to conclude our project, the main factor that affect the moon color change is the altitude, but the dust particle in the atmosphere also affect it too. So we can use it to see how the air quality is like. If it's bad, it's gonna be red, or it's gonna be like dark colors. But it has to be in the condition that other factor has to be the same.
Thank you for listening.
Thank you.
เชิญคำถามนะครับ
Why we don't use the app to like see how the weather is, why we want to use this kind of like shape?
So we want like people to realize like something that has changed in our environment. So if they see like moon, it has changed colors and it's so dark and it is like the air quality is bad. So I want them to realize it as they see, so they can improve or fix some problem with our environments, like to make them realize that something has changed, something has happened to our world.
This is possible if we use the smartphone to take a photo like of the moon, but it's so far, but we
If we take photographs
Mhm.
on our phone and like we need a close-up picture of the moon, but on the phone we are on the ground and we don't connect it to a telescope,
Mhm.
so the pixels of the moon will break and the numbers won't be accurate.
So how about compare with the human eyes? Like if we don't have the app, or we can see, we use our eyes to see the color of the moon.
We can use our eyes because like we use ISO 200 and to like use a similar that our eye can see the moon. So
Oh.
it's the picture that we look at it. So you can look at your bare eye.
How many pixels on the camera that you used? DSLR. So how many? What's the 20 million pixel? 20. Not sure.
We're sorry, we're not sure about it.
Which camera did you use? What camera did you
We
use?
use a DSLR camera by
Canon 120s, 1020s.
So 1020. Oh, okay. HD. And at what point in the sky is it best to look to see how what the particulate matter is? Is it better to look when it's straight overhead or as it's rising to see the color change?
If it's straight above our head, there will be less amount of dust particle because like when it's about to set like around this area, there's a lot of particles. So like if we look up at straight out our head, the moon would most likely to be white.
And if it's red, it means like that day is the quality is very bad.